الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, respected viewers and listeners, Alhamdulillah, we are still in Kitab al-Hajj wal Umrah, the chapter of pilgrimage, and we are looking at the section that addresses the unlawful actions during Hajj. When one is in a state of ihram, what is not permitted for that individual or what invalidates that state. So Alhamdulillah, in a few sessions ago, a few weeks ago, we touched on the concept of ihram, that the ihram is a state that a person enters into, and it is necessary to enter into that state for the performance of the umrah and the hajj. And one has to enter into that state wearing certain attire with an intention, and this must be done before you move beyond the miqat. And of course, I highlighted in that session two, miqat that need to be known by a South African, right? If you are traveling directly to Mecca, you have to, of course, don your ihram before you cross what is that miqat. Can anyone recall? Anyone? We just wait for the announcement on Emirates or Saudi Airlines that you're about to cross. That miqat is Ya Lamlam for those traveling from South Africa. And conventionally, we travel to Medina, and then from Medina, of course, you move into Makkah. What is the miqat from Medina? Can you remember that name? I heard a whisper, subhanallah. Bi'ru Ali wa Masjidul Halayfa. That is the miqat for those traveling from Medina. So, of course, when we're in the state of ihram, there are certain actions which are forbidden. And the author, Shaykh Abi Shuja' mentions, وَيَحْرُمْ عَلَى الْمُحْرِمْ عَشْرَةُ أَشْيَاء. There are 10 things which are unlawful to a person in the state of ihram. The first, to wear stitched garments, and that applies to males. So a male may not wear a garment of clothing that is stitched. Secondly, to cover the head of the male. So this is very important, particularly when, of course, you are undertaking the Hajj and Umrah. The heat can be quite intense, and so men have to be aware of the fact that they may not cover their heads. Or the face of the female. And of course, this is the conventional ruling in fiqh. What has happened since then, we've had istithna'at that have been developed in fiqh. So sometimes a lady who conventionally wears niqab in her normal lifestyle, and she undertakes, the ulama have passed, fatwa, that there could be some exception granted to ladies who are conventionally in a state of conventionally wear niqab. But if a lady doesn't generally wear niqab, then she should not put one on, because that would go against the origins as we have it documented in fiqh. The third is to apply oil to the hair for combing or removing. The fourth, to remove hair in the state of ihram until the time comes about, of course, for you to do so. Number five, number five is to cut one's nails. To cut one's nails. Number six is to use perfume. Number seven, to kill an animal, hunting essentially. Number eight, to contract a marriage. Number nine, to have sexual intercourse. And number 10, to engage in sexual foreplay. So all of these actions are forbidden for a person in the state of ihram because of the sanctified state that individual is in. Now, there is a fidya, a kafara, for each of those that have been mentioned, except for the contracting of the marriage. So essentially, the ulama have ruled that if the marriage is contracted in a state of ihram, the contract is invalid. Okay, so that marital contract does not stand. I think there was a picture going around on social media just sort of early in the Hajj season that showed a couple getting married, apparently, in Mecca on the Mataf, and so that they were still wearing the garments, of ihram, and many people were commenting that you can't do this, which of course is the reality, that you can't propose marriage, and you can't contract marriage, you can't enter into a marital contract, and you can't also enact a marital contract. So you can't be the sheikh, the maulana, the imam, putting a contract through. All of those are forbidden in the state of ihram. Then we also recognize that these do not invalidate the Hajj except for intercourse. And then also we recognize that if you engage in these actions, it doesn't take you out of the state of ihram. And so, of course, we mentioned the example, I think, in a previous session, that if a male, hypothetically, is at Masjidul Hulayfa in Medina, and he forgot to remove his underwear, and he recites his niyyah, he enters into the state of ihram, and he now crosses the miqat and is, on his way to Mecca, and realizes that he's wearing a stitched garment. It doesn't take him out of the state of ihram, but instead there will be a fidya, there will be kafara, a means of expiation for that, but he continues as normal. And that, alhamdulillah, my dear brothers and sisters, is our short fiqh lesson for this evening. We close by recognizing that the ihram is a very sacred state, both, mentally, Islamically, religiously, as well as we have to be really mindful and conscious of what we are doing, what we are thinking. And so Allah has all of these laws that apply for a muhrim, a person in the state of ihram. And one must be familiar with what is not permitted. Hence, I again remind everyone, inshallah, if you are intending to undertake Umrah or Hajj, please attend Umrah or Hajj classes. It is absolutely critical. Many people perhaps, take the decision on the last minute, but inshallah, if the niyyah is there, attend the courses in the city, the classes that are offered, so that you are familiar with the fiqh and you are able to apply the appropriate laws. And then know that if there is an action that you had done which is not permitted, in all likelihood, there will be a means of kafara, of fidya, expiation that can apply to some of those actions. Any questions, beloved brothers? Walhamdulillah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam alayhi walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Jazakallah.